Deserts, the driest places on Earth. At first glance, they may appear lifeless and unforgiving, but a closer look reveals something unexpected. Here, in this fascinating environment, is a world filled with life.
Canyonlands is very much a desert. People come out here and they're like, what could possibly live here?
We get very little rain and we have really hot summers. It can be 100, 110 degrees even. And really cold winters where there can be over a foot of snow in some places.
But it is a living desert. You can find plants, animals, and microscopic organisms everywhere throughout the park if you just know where to look for them.
One resident in particular thrives here, the raven.
Ravens sport a black feather outfit every single day. A lot of people are like, aren't the ravens hot in that? Black is actually an advantage here in the desert. Their black feathers absorb heat from the sun, but it keeps it on the outside of their feathers. So when they take flight or they just sort of jostle, they're able to use the wind to move that heat off of them instead of the heat moving towards their skin.
The raven's dark plumage makes it easy to notice against stark blue skies and red rocks. But smaller creatures that blend into their surroundings require a keen eye to spot.
A white-tailed antelope squirrel is a visitor favorite. During the summer here, when we have intense heat, their tail acts as an umbrella as they scurry between shade patches underneath shrubs, bushes, and trees. Another way that antelope squirrels cool themselves is they'll dig a little hole in the sand and they'll flop their bellies into it to use the coolness of the ground against their own skin to cool them off.
When rain and snow do come to the desert, there are many surprising ways that life takes advantage of this transient moisture.
One of my favorite adaptation stories out here involves the Utah juniper tree. They can actually pull water from different branches to keep the main part of the tree alive. They don't want to carry that extra weight or give water to these extra branches, so they kill off these extremities to survive.
Desert potholes are depressions in the rock that appear lifeless when they are dry. But after it rains, they can burst into life.
Many different types of invertebrates and microscopic organisms will actually lay their eggs in these potholes and can wait years for rains to come. And then once the rain comes, boom, we have an explosion of life. Inside those potholes, you can find things like shrimp, snails, worms, and tardigrades.
Potholes aren't the only places harboring life. One of the most fragile living things in the desert blends in so well that it's practically hidden in plain sight.
Biological soil crust is a black, crusty material that may not seem like much, but is essentially the foundation for plant life here.
Bacteria and other microorganisms in the top layer of sand form the protective biocrust. It adds nutrients to the soil, prevents erosion, and helps store water, but is also extremely fragile.
One footprint can make a huge impact in eroding away this important soil, so we ask the folks to be really mindful of where you're stepping.
Canyonlands National Park is a testament to the resilience of living things to adapt and survive, even in the most challenging environments. But it's a fragile balance of life, worthy of our ongoing protection and care.
A big part of the mission of the National Park Service is to take care of these places, not just for us, but for everybody who comes after us. If you take a closer look at this landscape to appreciate the evidence of animals, the uniqueness of the plants, you really get a sense that this is truly a living desert.